I hope I had included most of the details of it. If not, we will find out during the process. Um, First of all, it's very important to know that the server we have it was locally installed as we did with Telepad, even though our support team connect via um, Hangouts or via Skype or remotely from Malaysia. It is also important to know that the system, the configuration about A3 to include different modules to export the information into a dynamics. It's very detailed and have a lot of enhancements to it. So you're going to be seeing a lot of DLLs, a lot of conversions, a lot of files in order to make the final product happen. It's a little bit more complicated than Talabat. So this A3 server, it's locally install, and when I refer, what I refer with, it's the storage, the space of the server. It's locally installed by operations. The owner is Rich. Um, Then inside this server, you will see applications and any enhancements that have to do with A3 software. Our version, at least the one I found, it's called A3 AIS 3000 V2. Um, then you will find also a lot of enhancements that are related to DPPF. That's workflow. Most people know it as workflow. Image conversions, we have to run some sort of conversions in order to have the images inserted into a dynamics. Print DLLs, outdoors DLLs, pay TV logs DLLs, the synchronization applications, and all the enhancements that have to do with the synchronization part that we talked in TV and radio also are included in the server. The files and enhancement that has to do with the dynamics also are included in this server: input files, output files, and image storage. So we have all of that inside A3. Our current support, it's remotely, it's directly from Gilbert Sean team, directly from Malaysia. Right now it's a 12-hour differences. So yes, even though with these differences, we find a way to communicate and make things happen. Um, the structure, we have media titles. Here we have all the names, including radio, TV, print, outdoor, of all the medias. We have it in this window. Um, the media code will sync from Telepad the information that comes in terms of radio and TV. Then we have to include a media code to create one for newspaper, magazine, outdoor, because they are handled directly in A3. And the system does not provide that number. We inserted that number manually. Um, the amount of publications that we have until today are 39 publications configured in A3, and then we select them in DPPF. 23 newspapers, 16 magazines. The section, we work with sections. They are inserted or structured or configured per publication. Depends on the needs of the market. It also depends on the day of the week, the publication, the division that that newspaper or publication has. Depend also on the rates, etc. So what we do is, if we have a new publication, we will basically analyze the publication to check the sections that it already has, but also we will check the rates, and we will check if they have preference pages where they have different rates, And we will also check what the industry is looking for to know exactly which sections we will be including or creating for that particular publication. Here in Puerto Rico, we have what they call book ID. So we also report positions to the newspapers. So we have sort of subcategory inside the sections for that book ID in order for that book ID to exist. So we have like a double section configuration. The categories are, well, the list is the same that we use in Telepad, but since A3 has 3 levels and not 4, what the programmers did was merge what they call category 0 and category 1 that we had in Telepad as industry category, major category. They merged those two into one. And then we have category 2 that is minor category and 3 that is product category. But the information there is exactly the same one that we have in Telepad. So what we did was merge that same table into A3. And if we create a new category, we go first to Telepad to create it, then we create the same information with the same ID into A3. I hope hopefully I made a brief explanation here in comments of what I just said, and if you have any questions, just let me know. There is another structure inside the menu that is called category. We can use it to find categories, but we don't use it that much. I believe that one is used directly from support team. I don't know if it's making reference in terms of what I just tell you about the merge of the category X0 and X1. But here we'll just show you what is written and the ID codes of the minor category. So actually, we, at least locally, operation in operation side, we don't use it that much. We have advertiser. This advertiser, was also copied from Talabad, and the structure is the same that what we do with categories. We create it first in Talabad, and then we create the same advertiser in A3. And in this case, it doesn't need to have necessarily the same ID. It will recognize it by name that is the same advertisement, and it will not duplicate it. Same thing we do for agency, but we have to create it manually in both systems. It will not synchronize. Now, brand groups will synchronize, so we can create them whether in Telepad or A3, but during synchronization, it will synchronize. If it already exists in A3, what we should do is select the product or brand that already have that information correct. If not, then edit the one that is incorrect. Then we have brands in A3. It called brand. In the Telepad is called product. And this window in particular in A3 will show you not only the brands, but it can also show you the other information inside the typology, like brand group, advertiser, agency, and the categories. You will also see in that window brand date, that is making reference to the date that brand was created, if it's a new brand or not. It has a check mark if it's a new brand. And then to exclude, it is supposed to help us to exclude that information to appear from appearing in the database when the data entries are working, or uh, going around the database in DBPF selecting products, etc. Brand name. like I said before, it's the same of what we call telepath product. It do accept 64 character length, but I believe A3 and A Dynamics, even though we can keep writing, it will short them to, I don't know if it's 60 or less, but it will short it. So even though we are going to be able to write uh, the product name very long, it will eventually will be short by the system. Um, Print reference table, that's where we include information regarding the price. Uh, we have to create or configure print type, print color, print position, print page type, print section, print book ID, print location, in order to have what it will be, well, the final price based on the size and everything else. Um, Here is a brief explanation of each one of these contents that we need to include prior to start working on the newspapers and or magazines. The window master file print rate is where we finally include the price based on all the information that we include in the print reference table. So here we include the price and the regular ad per size. Um, which type of ads, events, or commercials do we measure for print? All of them. All type of ads, doesn't matter the size, or if they are what we call irregular size, like a nail, a circle, doesn't matter. We measure it. Which sections of the of the newspaper we measure? All of them, including insertions, shoppers, uh, the classified section, everything. We measure everything. We delivered clips to the clients, so they are going to be able to see the creative of the information that we are providing to them. Um, the image storage, it's directly located in the A3 server, and for us to be able to keep working, we have to manually do a cleanup in the server to delete prior months. What we're doing right now is we only leave 3 months in the system. So the rest of the information we just delete it in order for us to keep having space. Advertisement window, where that's we select print, you will see TV, radio, prints, outdoor, and pay TV. So when you select print, you will see the database that is being entered in DPPF of of each publication. So it's where the circulations and the commercials are inserted via DPPF. But you can go into A3 and go to that window and you will see the information as it is. Database A3. The database, what we call, if we have to say which system is the owner of A3 AIS database in Puerto Rico, we have to say A3 because at the end is the one that holds the information of all the medias that we manage, including the ones that we manage in Telepath.
I have a
Um, uh,
question, Joanna.
yes. Mhm.
The database in A3 belongs to the DPPF or is another database for DPPF?
No, actually, the database that we manage in DPPF comes from A3. I
Are
was
in the
going to
same
explain
server?
I was going to explain that later, but I could say it now.
Okay.
DPPF only serve as a reader. So what it
Mm,
does is he presents the information that A3 has and show it to the data entries for them to select, but it doesn't hold any database. You can
thank you.
create information in DPPF, you can select information in DPPF, but it doesn't own any database. What it does, it works as a reader, as a computer. But if you don't click save, it's not going to save. But when you insert information, it will not be saved anywhere in DPPF. It's going to be saved automatically in A3. I don't know if
Uh,
that answered your question.
I have a
Yes,
question.
Joanna, thank you.
I have a question, Joanna.
Mhm.
This
Mhm.
server is the critical server. Do you have the disaster recovery plan regarding of this server?
No, we don't have it. I believe it's the database will be storage on a daily basis, and the last version will be the prior day, and the our backup will be directly Malaysia.
Okay.
They will extract the last version that is going to be yesterday's database and will provide that to us.
Okay.
Um, Cleaning and QC, we have a tool that was created after BPI. It's a special report. We export a file from A3, and then we insert that into this tool. It's a macro, an Excel macro, and then we conduct the cleaning and the quality control, and after that we go back to the BPF to validate and report the newspapers. Right now, well, the responsible will be Michael Lucan in terms of the tool, and Swimming in terms of who help us generate that report file in A3. Um, Export is very simple. After the newspapers or magazines are ready in A3, all we have to do is go through the process of exporting the information into a Dynamics, and they will appear into the client systems. We doesn't have to do any particular conversion. Now, unfortunately, I am not going to be able to provide to you the path of Dynamics and exactly which files, etc., because it's quite complicated, and it's conducted through internet. So for us, it's a little bit complicated to understand. I can show you the files that we have to edit, to make some edit on, or the files that it the process will read for you to see if it said something in the layout. You're programmers, you should know better than me, but knowing the path as I know it from Telepath, I can't provide that information. I don't have it. But everything, all the files are in the server of A3. um, A3 Press module, we have a module, a particular module for press that is very detail oriented, and the responsible person is Tatsinder. Here I include some copies or print screens of how the menu will look and what we handle in terms of print. Very basic. We use other file menus, but for configure purposes, we use the main menu, data entry, master files, and media titles, where we create the names of every media, and then we use reference table to insert all the information needed in order to include the price. Then we go back to this menu, master files, and go to print rates to include the prices. That's pretty much basic information. The structure of DPPF, uh, the maintenance window in the administration side, the maintenance window in terms of schedule and assign the schedules. Well, we are when I say Joanna, is that we locally are responsible of doing that configuration. Is very basic. It is a structure, a module that they already had, and I think it's very similar to what UK used, if I am if I remember correctly. Um, the medias type of media that it comes pre-configured from the A3, so we have to configure A3 in order to be able to see this information in DPPF. Workflow status, they have expected, received, pre-match, matching, validate, reported. Again, those were already structured in the model that we had, that we have, and each status represents a stage in which data entry have each circulation. The scanner and downloading publications, uh, the selection of local configuration settings to run scanner procedures, basically. There is one computer dedicated to configure a scanner, but the publications that we download as PDF, we can run them in any computer that will have um, DPPF and A3 configured.
I have a quick question. I think
Mhm.
up on workflow status, do you have auto match?
Yes, we have AutoMatch, but again, I don't know how it looks in other countries, but here AutoMatch, still you will have multiple choices, and still you will AutoMatch an image and still have to include size and or price.
Okay.
So what it is matching is only the image and the information.
Okay.
So yes, pre-match properties selected by the data entry prior to start working on the newspaper. Its pre-match model provided by A3 team was already there. The match section matching module provided by A3 team. The database, like I said before, DPPF works as a reader. The validation is a script run automatically after moving forward from image matching to validation, and if any information appear that is incorrect that we have to correct, then we go to A3, we fix what it needs to be fixed, and then run the process again in DPPF. The atoms selected for those publications to fail are also pre-configured, and we talk to Swimming or Johnny Wong and ask them which one we want them to be shown. So right now I include here some examples like typology must be marked if new, like if there is a new brand name, then it have to appear in order for us to include the information. If not, we're not, we tell them that it can't not be allowed to move forward if it's empty. Size over calculating a page and prices in zero. Those are examples. So I also include print screen of the PPF, how it looks. This is pre-match. Here is how the image matching looks after the publication is passed from pre-match to matching. And basically that's it in terms of the systems configurations. Do you have any questions?
Joanna, do you know what is the
Mhm.
version that you have in regarding
In
to
DPPF,
the DPPF?
I can look it for you. I
Okay,
will look for
thanks.
you and send it to you when I send the file.
Okay,
And
thanks.
what country is this to support? I
The
missed that in the
support,
beginning.
our support,
Yeah. Well, what is
our
it?
support team.
I must have missed the whole introduction of this because I'm a little bit lost on where this is for and what. I don't even know where this is for. Because
This
we
is
have
in
it in,
Puerto Rico.
so this is for Puerto Rico. Okay.
Yes, we're giving the end-to-end of print for Puerto Rico, so we could have all the steps needed prior to migrate to MediaPath and A4. In Puerto Rico, we use Telepad and A3. We already talked about radio and TV, and now we're talking about print. Our support team is directly the programmers of A3 and
Okay.
DPPF. Those are the team from Gilbert Sean. Okay, so
Hmm.
the procedure of the data entry methodology, the general procedure from DPPF, you double click each status to enter to each window. From A3, you go to drop down menu, data entry, advertisement, and print, and you will see the same information entered from DPPF. Brand window used to make reference to existing information. Users have no access to create at this point. Um, Here is the window that should be used if you want to go and see the information that you enter of the ads from A3. And this is the DPPF, the different status that can be shown when you're managing a publication. This is how the pre-match print screen looks like. What we do is select the section of each publication and set the pages of that publication. And then what we do on matching, it's select image, we crop the ad, we can either use exact match, that will be automatic recognition, but still we have to click and select and include price and include size. We can even change what the image that it match with for a better quality. We can use the product information, inserting a new image that will mean creating a new ad and new ads. It doesn't exist in the database. The ads the information that is included in the ad, it's product, slogan, description, and I wrote description incorrectly. Type of ad include a pre-configured list of the rate information. So when we work with a particular publication and we select type of ad, the list that it will show are the list of the type of rates or type of description of the sizes that we had um, for that particular publication. And the events, again, we measure all the events. This is a preview of how the information is presented in A3 after you finish to manage that publication in DPPF. Actually, you can make modifications directly in A3. We don't recommend that to avoid errors occurring from one system to another, but you can modify directly in A3. This is how it will look, the list of all the ads for that particular in this case, newspaper. And then this is the information entered for each newspaper. We don't have to insert all the information. Obviously, if the ad already exists, all we have to do is include that image, but this information right here in terms of column, heights, and price, we have to select. Here is the chronological order of what we do, and it's not for TV, it's for print. And the chronological order, it's we deliver on a weekly and monthly basis. During the weeks, we deliver the weekly newspapers, and on a monthly basis, we deliver what we call regionals. Those are the newspapers that are circulated on a weekly basis, and also the magazines. What we do is we collect the publications. We do it here. Either we have to buy them or go look for them. With the support of client service. Um, the scanner, the data entries that do the coding are responsible to scan the newspapers. That the first things they do when they come into the office. Even though they're not going to be managing the newspapers that they are scanning that day, they must scan what it came in that day at 7 a.m. Or download any file that is already available. The pre-match, we organize the pages from distribution, organize the pages by section book ID, and then organize number of pages. The matching, the different type of what we can do with the ad. We run the QC tool, then we validate and report. Any questions?
No, no from my side.
Okay. Here is the information about the deliveries. Here is the list of the publications that we have until today. On other information, I include some details I found are important. The user access, configuration of where to access, that's done locally directly in A3. Direct support, it's A3 team via email. We send them an email or to try to meet, or we start calling them, even though we know it's 12-hour differences. The rate card update, it's conducted annually. Some of them we don't necessarily receive manual annually updates, but we every year we are after the the um, the clients to ask for them to provide us an updated version of the rate cards. A3 system configurations, installing computers that's locally made by a support person from infrastructure. Computers right now need to be updated. A3 server access. To have any access into this A3 server locally or remotely, it's conducted by local operation reach side of the business, Jose Roche. So he will provide access whether to Malaysia or locally. Any updates, any errors that need to be fixed, we have to contact directly A3 team. Windows 8, it's having a lot of trouble with A3 and Ed Dynamics. Not necessarily Windows 8, but the Nielsen images. And I can tell because I am suffering right now from that. In my computer, I cannot manage A3 as good as I want to, and I cannot work in DPPF because of Nielsen images. And infrastructure doesn't want to change me that. Synchronization procedure owner. It was a teamwork between A3 and Telepath teams, so both teams are responsible for any information regarding synchronization. Here are other screenshots of windows that we use in A3 in terms of reports. We also have outdoor logs here and pay TV logs. Here are some reports that we use for extract information regarding KPIs. And here is, well, password maintenance, where we create new users, provide access to new users. And I also include screenshots of a dynamic system in order for you to see the very detailed oriented press module that we have. I include here some examples of the windows that the press module of a dynamic has. Just for your information. Do you have any questions?
No.
No, you have.
Okay. So before I finish with the call, I will show you live how the server looks. So you
Okay.
could see why I said it's a little bit complicated for us to find exactly the path like we did in Telepath. This is the server. These are all the configuration regarding A3, DPPF, logs, dynamics, extraction, etc., etc. What we use more is this file here that is called system. As you may see, ref, it's where it going to read, report, and temp are files where some different documents are generated as output documents. You have here different updates of the same version. You have here a lot of DLLs. You have here a lot of versions of import master, import monthly. Yes.
Are you sharing your screen? Because I can see the spreadsheet.
I think I am. Let me check. Can you see it now?
Because as
No.
you say, you are sharing
Okay. Yes.
the server access, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Yes, but I cannot see anything.
Now, can you see it?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So let's go back. This is the server, A3 server. This is where they have
Excellent.
all the information regarding A3, DPPF, and NetDynamics. The file that we use more is this one, system. Here is where we insert any file for it to read, most of them from the synchronization procedure. Report and temp are where output files generate. As you may see here, we have a lot of updates from the same version.
Yeah.
We have DLLs. We also have a lot of versions of the different enhancements in terms of synchronization, as you may see here. You will also see a lot of DLLs in terms of the other medias like outdoor, pay TV.
Yeah.
You also will find here this here. It's making reference to the conversion of the images.
Yeah.
Here are logs that are making reference to a dynamics export.
Yep.
These also convert images. So this is why it's quite difficult for us to understand A3.
Yeah.
But I know that you are going to receive that information from the A3 team.
Yep.
Here is the dynamics export file. This is the module that we use to generate the files into NetDynamics, where they go, how they get to NetDynamics. That's a good question. We've been asking that from 3 years, 4 now. So they will have to tell you where they go and how. And here is the logs it generates in terms of if it run and if it didn't run, but these are not the final files that goes into NetDynamics. They go into another server.
Yeah.
They have here also DPPF images, etc., etc. So this is why it's a little bit difficult from what we have in Telepath for us to find the path. Questions, doubts, ideas?
No question. No. You have the Telepath in another server.
Yes.
The 116. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the shared file that you have, do you put
This
some
is internally.
Yep. Okay.
We use internally prior to Google for us to communicate here at the office. It's
Okay.
just local. Mm-hmm.
You have another server for scanned docs. It's regarding to the newspaper, right?
No, this is regarding to our print. It's a common print for everybody that
Okay.
has a scan. The scanner is connected in one computer that is in a room for all the people that manage print can be able to go there and work.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Mhm. Interesting.
So from my side, I think that's it for print. Um, I know it's more complicated and have more details, and the questions will come. So let me know, ask any questions that you have, or let me know whatever other information that you might be needing.
It was only needed to review the authors, right? Authors or what another service?
Come again?
Is
Sorry.
missing only to review another service like authors or another?
Yeah, we still have pending outdoor. Yes,
Okay.
outdoor. Even though it's managed on A3, it has a particular way uh, of getting the information done inside A3. It looks a lot like pay TV log, but we generate the log manually. We don't receive the log from anyone. We create it here and then we import it into A3.
Okay.
We will need another session
I
to
believe
review that.
so, yes.
Okay.
Even after of this session, Enrique, I think we need to configure two more sessions in order to start with the questions and the proper answers. Maybe we need to discover some details, for example, regarding to the quality control tools. What is the validations or the report that they expect, or regarding to the export file to add dynamics, or we need to analyze the data flow or the schemas in A3 and DPPF and Telepath. I don't know, we need to discover, for example, the proper process in order to apply the rates to the different medias and so on. After all this, I think we need to create the design regarding of the high level design, the ASIS, and the scenario related to the to be scenario. I think after of this, we need to share the Mexican experience by Victor to Joha before to create the proper backlog and create the histories and the efforts. With this backlog, I think we can have the scenario when we can perform the all the effort in order to develop or to modify the current effort for Puerto Rico and discover the proper time for TMB team, the UAT team, if we will perform a parallel process. Finally, we discover the day to deploy in Puerto Rico. Okay. This is a long path that we need to start to run. Okay, I think the next meeting is to analyze the outdoor service.
Okay, I will configure the meeting.
Okay, thanks. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Thanks.
I will be sending the file for your review, and if any questions come
Yes.
out of it, in the next couple of minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
What
Thanks.
question? MediaPad and A4, you can create database in both systems, right?
Yes.
In A4 in MediaPad.
I lost you. I heard a lot of background, but I couldn't hear anybody.
Yes,
You're
we
referring
have
to
a. Go ahead, Kiki.
continue. Yes. I was telling you that you can create the records from MediaPad. For example, in Mexico, they create all the new spots from MediaPad and goes to synchronize it with the A4.
But they have to synchronize it manually or automatically,
No, it's
or how is it
automatic.
done? It's automatic.
It's
So
automatic.
it's not like we do here that we run a process for synchronization.
Yes, no,
No?
we don't.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
We know that this is a headache.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay. I think, Vic, you need to prepare the proper presentation regarding the experience from your side before to create the proper backlog.
Yes.
Yes, Benjamin, no problem. I had a small presentation from of all Mexican process.
Okay.
When you find one space on the agendas, we can show you. Yep.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. So thank you everybody for joining the call, and you can reach me anytime you like to ask me questions.
Okay.
I am here to help you and to start this as soon as possible.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Okay, thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.